All right, for the longest time, the story of AI was pretty simple, right? It was all about technology getting smarter and smarter. Well, guess what? That chapter is over. A brand new story is just starting, and we're here to break down exactly what that means for all of us.
I mean, we've all had a front row seat to it. The conversation was always about bigger models, faster chips, and these just absolutely mind-blowing new capabilities. It felt like this mad dash, a sprint to see who could build the most powerful system, you know? A race totally defined by one jaw-dropping demo after another.
But now, the whole game has changed. The conversation has completely shifted. It's not just about what can AI do anymore. The real questions are, who's in control, who gets to write the rules, and how does this stuff get woven into the very fabric of our society? We're not talking about code anymore. We're talking about power.
Okay, so let's get into our first section, Washington takes the wheel. And yeah, the first major battleground in this new era, it's opening up right in Washington, D.C., where it looks like the government has decided it's officially time to grab the steering wheel.
So here's the deal. For a while now, you've had states like California, Colorado, you name it, all making up their own individual rules for AI. And the result? A super confusing, messy patchwork of different regulations. The White House is now basically saying, whoa, this is an undue burden on innovation. Their big plan is to clear out all those little back roads and build one single national superhighway for AI.
And the key legal tool they're going to use to do this is something called federal preemption. Now, this is a really powerful concept. It basically means that when the federal government passes a law, it just completely overrides any state laws that get in the way. Simple as that. One country, one set of rules.
So this new plan from the administration really boils down to three big things. First, you've got that federal preemption we were just talking about, getting everyone on the same page. Second, there's a huge focus on child safety, especially cracking down on unauthorized digital replicas. And third, and this is a big one for your wallet, is ratepayer protection. The whole idea is to make sure our electricity bills don't go through the roof just because a massive new AI data center sets up shop down the street.
All right, Section 2, a battle over trust. So even as Washington is trying to lay down the law, there's this incredible, high-stakes legal drama playing out right now. And it's showing us just how fragile the trust really is between Silicon Valley and the government.
Okay, this timeline is pretty wild. On March 4th, everything seems totally cool between the big AI company Anthropic and the Pentagon. Then, bam! Out of nowhere, the government blacklists them, calling them a supply chain risk. Now, everything is riding on a huge hearing coming up. So what on earth happened?
Well, here's the bombshell. This is an actual email, now unsealed, from a top Pentagon official to Anthropic's CEO. And get this, on March 4th, literally right before the ban dropped, the government itself was saying they were very close to an agreement on the exact safety issues they then turned around and used to justify the ban. I mean, it is a huge, glaring contradiction.
So, let's break this fight down. The Pentagon claims Anthropic is a supply chain risk, basically saying we're worried about depending on an outside company for something that's critical. But Anthropic's top engineers filed sworn declarations saying that's impossible. They argue that once their AI is on a secure, air-gapped military system, meaning completely cut off from the outside world, they can't touch it. There's no remote access, no kill switch. Anthropic's whole case is that the government's reasons for the ban just don't add up.
Okay, Section 3. Now, while all of this political drama is unfolding, the technology itself is taking this giant, monumental leap. It's jumping right out of our screens and into the physical world all around us. And folks, this is the industry's next trillion-dollar frontier.
So you're going to want to remember this term, physical AI, because you're about to hear it everywhere. Look, if the last few years were all about AI as software, chatbots, image generators, that kind of stuff, the next era is about AI with bodies. We're talking AI in robots, AI in cars, AI running factories, AI inside all the hardware that makes the real world tick.
And if you want to understand just how big this shift is, look at this. The experts are projecting that the market for physical AI, the actual hardware, is going to be 5 to 6 times bigger than the market for the AI software we've all been obsessed with. This isn't just the next step. It's a massive, seismic shift in where all the money and innovation is about to go.
And you want to put a price tag on this whole thing? How about this? $1 trillion. That's what NVIDIA, the company literally building the backbone for this whole revolution, is projecting for AI infrastructure demand in just the next few years. $1 trillion. That's the scale we're playing with now.
NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, just nailed it. He called this the ChatGPT moment for self-driving cars. And that's such a perfect way to think about it, right? He's basically saying that what ChatGPT did for our understanding of AI and software is about to happen for AI in the physical world. And it's not just talk. You've already got huge car makers like BYD and Hyundai jumping on board.
All right, Section 4, the ultimate power struggle. Let's tie all of this together. So you've got the government trying to impose order. You've got this major crisis of trust between tech and the state. And at the exact same time, the tech is leaping into the physical world. And it's that last piece, physical AI, that just raises the stakes for absolutely everyone and turns this into the ultimate power struggle.
And what we're seeing here are all the signs that the AI industry is, well, it's growing up. It's leaving its Wild West phase behind. You've got firms like Accenture saying demand is unprecedented because companies aren't just playing around anymore, they're going all in. You're seeing big players like OpenAI gobbling up smaller companies. And maybe the biggest tell of all, NVIDIA says that actually using AI, what they call inference, now takes up more computing power than building it. The AI is officially out of the lab.
So this all leads to a really crucial takeaway. Building more powerful AI isn't the hardest part anymore. The central challenge has shifted. It's now political. It's societal. Because think about it. When AI is controlling cars on the highway and robots in a factory, the debate over who writes the rules, well, it's not optional anymore. It becomes absolutely essential. We're talking about aligning power, not just aligning algorithms.
Which leaves us with the one single question that's going to define this entire new era. As AI becomes just as fundamental as our highways and our power grid, who is ultimately in charge? Who gets to write the rules for our future? The innovators in Silicon Valley or the regulators in the state? That is the battle that has just begun.